Hey, you guys, we are back with another amazing uh, young lady. She's young. I'm just be amazed to see young people taking hold of their health. Thank you, nutritionist. I say in training. I don't know. I hope that's not offensive, but she is training to be a nutritionist. Thank you, Nikki, for being on our channel. We welcome you and thank you.
Hi, Vanessa. It is a pleasure to be here, and it's no offense taken at all. I actually haven't even started the program yet. It's in the works for me to enroll at the Maryland University of Integrative Health in the master's program for nutrition. So no offense taken, but yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to be able to share, my experiences with transitioning from a standard American diet to eating a high raw plant-based diet, and just kind of talk about some of my testimonies and my experiences that will hopefully help someone else in their transition.
Yes, and right here, since you brought up the school that you're going to be enrolling in, she
Yes,
has a GoFundMe, and it's for that, correct?
correct.
Okay,
Yes.
so you guys, please click the link down below and support her. She's out here helping, so you guys should want to also help, and I will be out there uh, sending you some money as well.
Oh, much appreciated. Thank you so
Something.
much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Greatly appreciate it.
You're welcome. So, what was your beginnings like as a child growing up when it came to eating?
So as most people, I ate the standard American diet, which is meat, dairy, um, a lot of processed foods, the Lunchables, the freezer foods, toaster strudels. I don't even know if people nowadays know what those are. Uh, but yeah, so that's what I was mostly grown up with. That's what my family ate. My extended family, that's what we ate. So that's just all that I knew. And it's so interesting that now that I've transitioned into a plant-based diet, I'm so amazed at how well I still functioned, you know, um, eating on that type of diet. Yes, I was an athlete. I did grow up playing competitive sports, so that might have contributed to keeping me healthy in a sense. But it's just amazing how like you can eat uh, those types of foods and still sustain and stay relatively healthy um, for so long. It just kind of speaks to how amazing the human body truly is. Um, but yeah, so just grew up on a regular standard American diet, pizza, burgers, tacos, all the greasy foods, that aren't the best for us. And it wasn't until I watched the documentary Forks Over Knives. This was back in 2010, where in this documentary, they pretty much just kind of talk about how when you eat a plant based diet, you can reverse chronic diseases that we are told that are not curable, or you have to live with them the rest of your life. A gentleman, he actually did his blood work, saw that he was at risk of cardiovascular disease, went on a plant-based diet and like totally like eradicated, reversed some of the issues that he was heading towards or was actually experiencing at the time. So when I saw that, I said, "Hey, let me challenge myself and see if I can remove meat out of my diet." And so I gave myself a year to going vegetarian. So I wasn't eating any meat. I still was consuming eggs, um, and I want to say dairy as well. So I just did the no meat, but I did that for a year, and I was like, okay, that was cool, but I wasn't set in my mind. My mindset wasn't set yet, so I ended up transitioning back to eating meat. Um, and between 2010 and now, I've done vegetarian, I did pescatarian, I did vegan, and the reason that I went back and forth is because I just really struggled with, like, I think it was because I didn't know my why yet. And I think it's really important for individuals that are making these lifestyle changes to really know what your why is, whether it's your family, your kids, you just wanting to have a better quality of life. Um, those are important mindsets to have, or goals to have in your mind when you're making these changes, because it is going to be a little, it's going to be different. You're not going to know what to eat or how to prepare it, or a few other things. And so it's helpful to have those whys in your mind, to help you when you're transitioning.
Yes, yes, I agree. So when you transition to becoming vegan plant based, you were eating more cooked foods at first.
Correct. Yeah. So everything that I was eating prior to starting a plant-based diet was cooked, as well as when I went vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, everything was cooked. Of course, I was incorporating fruits, smoothies, and juices into my diet, not knowing that I kind of was already kind of dabbling in the raw vegan, world, because that's pretty much, you're just eating foods, and from, the tree to the plate, for how, or from wherever it's grown, um, just straight from the ground to the plate. Of course, there are some preparation, some cutting or dehydrating if you're going to go that route. But yeah, so everything was cooked, and yeah.
Did
Hmm.
you have any healing that you noticed while you was eating the cooked uh, vegan plant based foods?
So when I was eating the vegan cooked foods, I honestly, and I look back at pictures now, I thought I was like, I thought I was healthy. And that's not to say that if you're eating cooked vegan foods, you're not healthy. But when I compare how I looked then versus how I look now on a high raw vegan diet, I noticed that I had more weight on me during the times that I was eating the cooked processed vegan foods. And that's because um, a lot of those frozen meat replacement, cheese replacement products, in order for them to have the texture, the smell, for them to mimic the foods that we're trying to avoid but still enjoy, they have to add additives and preservatives and different chemicals. And so they kind of are just as bad as if you were to eat the real thing. And I'm not going to say that I'm not going to tell anybody not to eat those things, because they actually were very helpful um, in my transition, but they're just not good for long term. I don't think so. Anyone should stay eating those things for long term, because they are high in sodium. And as I mentioned, there are other preservatives and additives in them that are not good for our bodies.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So the biggest changes that I have noticed transitioning into a high raw vegan diet, of course, has been weight loss, but it's really waste loss. It's the waste that's in our intestines that's been sitting there forever, that is now being removed due to the increased fiber that we are consuming from the fruits and the vegetables. Um, my skin has cleared up for the longest. Even as a teenager, I was always trying to find that perfect product. Like, what can I put on my skin that's gonna make my skin clearer and look better. And since I've started this high raw vegan plant based diet, it truly is what you're eating. Like, when they say you are what you eat, it's so true. Like, the fruits and the vegetables and the water that you're getting from these things is really going to hydrate your skin. It's not the products that you put on your skin um, that's making the difference. It's the foods that you're consuming. Um, I never had any major health challenges, so I can't speak to that. And that's why I want to actually enroll in school and get my master's, because I have my personal experiences, but I want to be able to help individuals that do suffer from chronic diseases. And by going to school, I can get that textbook knowledge that can help me identify which foods are going to serve this system of the body. And things of that sort, so that I can, be able to help more people.
Yes, that's great. We need you. So thank you.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Um, so in the beginning, like, okay, you transition from eating the processed vegan cooked foods.
Hmm.
So now you're eating more high raw. What are some of the? I know you say you lost weight and your skin cleared up. Cleared up. Is there any other things that you noticed?
So my menstrual cycle actually changed. I suffered from really extremely painful cramps. Um, excuse me, my flow was really heavy. And I noticed that the more raw foods that I was consuming, my cramps were not as painful, as well as my cycle would, instead of lasting 7 days, it was down to like 3 to 4 days. Um, and so that's huge for me, because that's something that like really affected me on a day-to-day basis.
Mhm.
um so yeah, that's a major change.
So, what are some of the things? Because there are many, many young ladies and women who are having major hormone cycle issues. So, what are some of the things that you were eating, at the time when you start noticing the changes?
Honestly, it was just incorporating more salads, more fruits. It wasn't any particular food group or a food item,
Mhm.
or I wasn't like waiting like a week or two before to eat them before, I knew that my cycle was going to come on. It was really just consistently eating. I think I did like a year of just completely raw. Now I'm high raw vegan. So when I say high raw, I mean 90% of my food is completely raw, uncooked. The other 10% would be like roasted nuts and seeds, roasted seaweed. I do enjoy quinoa and chickpeas like on my salads. So I'll get those every now. Those are cooked.
Mhm.
The goal is to start to learn how to sprout my foods. So I'll be sprouting quinoa and garbanzo beans later down the road. But for now, I do consumed cooked quinoa and garbanzo beans. But my recommendation really is just adding more fruits and vegetables on a daily basis, um, slowly removing those meats and those dairy products from your meals, because they're very inflammatory.
Mhm.
It's creating an acidic environment in your body, and disease can thrive in acidity. It can't thrive in an alkaline environment. So that's really the goal, is making sure that the pH level in your body is alkaline, which is a pH of, I believe, 7. So it's just removing those acidic foods, moving more towards the fruits, the vegetables, the nuts, the seeds, the grains, and making sure they're whole, plant-based, minimally processed if possible. But I'm a huge supporter of Dr. Sebi, and he cooked at all his foods. So and he's proven that he's cured diseases like cancer, lupus, diabetes, all the things that we are told that are uncurable. He has cured using cooked foods. So I'm not against cooked foods. I have just found a lifestyle that works for me. I am a minimalist, so I don't have a lot of things, and eating a high raw vegan diet just fits very well into my lifestyle. I don't have to cook. I don't have to wash dishes, very many dishes.
Mhm.
It's literally just taking it out of the refrigerator, cutting it up, making a quick dressing to go on top of it, and or marinating your vegetables, because there is a misconception that when you go on a raw vegan diet that you miss out on flavor, and
Mhm.
that's completely wrong. You can still use the seasonings that you use on your meats when you were cooking meat to season your vegetables or marinate your vegetables.
Mhm.
um, so you don't lose out on flavor. We don't actually crave raw meat. We crave the seasonings on the meat. So if you just take those same seasonings, marinate your vegetables, and or if you're going to go the cooked route, cooking with your vegetables with those seasonings, your palate is going to be satisfied, and you're going to be like, oh, this is actually really good. So yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. The one of the things you might learn in your class when you do start is
Mhm.
the word cure. You can't like, you know, even on YouTube, it's crazy. Um,
Mm,
yeah, that's one of the words that they track, and it's
okay.
crazy. So
Okay.
you have to say, like heal. You could say other word. I'm just saying
Yeah,
that.
yeah, no, I totally I get it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was
Yeah.
one of the things that I learned when I went to school to be a master herbalist. That
Oh,
was one of the
awesome.
things that was like a big no. You can't say. And now, this whole setup is run by that type of people. So,
So they're making sure certain words aren't used. Yeah, I understand.
right. No, I would just, because you're going to be doing these things, you know what I'm saying? And who knows
Mhm.
interviews. So, yeah, just a little quick note there.
Appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. So, who inspires you
Who
to
is
eat the way you do? And also, I know you
mhm.
mentioned Dr. Sabi, and also your spiritual journey as well, if you have one.
So, who inspires me to eat this way? Honestly, I would say I am my biggest inspiration,
Mhm,
because I've seen the changes and the benefits from eating this way. Of
mhm,
course, before starting my high raw plant based diet, I did follow certain individuals. I believe her name is Raw Christina. I might be saying it wrong, but I followed her a
mhm,
lot, as well as what's the gentleman's name? I can't even think of his name, but I followed a couple different people before I made the decision. So they were very inspiring because I would see and follow their content, and I would see something in them that just glowed and just exuded light. And I'm like, there has to be something to this. Like,
mhm,
so I was like, that's what I want long term. Like, I want to live a very simple life, and I just want to be glowing from the inside out. And so, yeah, so I would say myself, I am, just making sure that I'm always, every day, that I'm working towards being the best version of myself, which includes the foods that I eat, the music that I listen to, the people that I surround myself with, um, the spiritual practices that I incorporate into my life. Like, all of those things are in place to make sure that I'm growing, elevating, empowering those around me, and just being the best version of myself.
yeah.
And then, what was the second question? I'm sorry.
Who inspires you spiritually, if you have, well, you say you do, yes.
Um, who inspires me spiritually? No one in particular, to be honest.
Mhm,
Um, but as I mentioned, Dr. Sabi, when I came across him, like, he definitely was like a great guide,
mhm,
um, and just helping me to like create a foundation to start with. I use his nutritional guide
mhm,
as a basis of where to start.
mhm,
Um, of course, there are a few items that are not on the list that I do consume.
mhm,
Um, I don't believe anybody's word is an end all be all. I take a little bit from everyone, as long as it resonates with me,
mhm,
in my spirit, then it's like, okay, that works for me. So I always encourage people to find what works for you, because
mhm,
what I'm doing may not be what works for you. And if you try and do what I do and it doesn't work out, then you're gonna try and say that the diet itself is not working, but
mhm,
that's not true. It's just that you haven't found the routine or the regimen or the lifestyle that works best for you yet. But yeah, in time, it's been what, 13 years that I've been doing this, experimenting on myself, seeing the changes, and I've just realized that I look my best and I feel my best when I eat a plant based diet. Hmm.
yes, that's great. That's great. So, what I want to ask you also about, like, how, well, you might have mentioned your answer to this, but what inspires you to become a nutritionist? I think you answered this question already, but Yeah.
Um, so what inspires me to be a nutritionist? It's just the desire to just want to help people make healthier lifestyle choices.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that eating this way is going to extend my life in any way. I'm a firm believer that when it's my time to go, it's already been determined when and how.
Mm-hmm.
It's more so about increasing the quality of life that I have while I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that we all should have that experience. It is within our nature to be well,
Mm-hmm.
and if we are not our own advocates, then we need people um, in our lives who we can trust to be those advocates for us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And so that's why I just want to help people just to like really enjoy their lives while they're here on this earth,
Mm-hmm.
um, and to be the best versions of themselves.
Yes. Yes, that's great.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the biggest misconceptions that you've heard about the way you eat?
That the food is bland, that I'm not going to get, adequate protein or vitamins and minerals, as well as that I'm going to start looking sickly. Um, and to answer all of that, I touched on it earlier about the food. And when you take the seasonings that you would normally use to cook your meats with, that's what our body and our taste buds are craving. So if
Mm-hmm.
you just use those to cook with your vegetables, you're going to get that same um, satisfaction that you got when you ate the meat. Now, granted, you're not going to get the same texture. Um, for example, like mushrooms are a huge staple in the plant based community when you're making meat substitutes like chicken nuggets or ribs or some things that some people use portobello mushrooms to make like rib like meals.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get the same texture, but the flavor will be there, and eventually your taste buds are going to change because they've, for years they've been overstimulated, so you have to give them a chance to reset. And then once you're eating these fruits and vegetables on a consistent basis, then your body is actually going to start to crave these foods. And it blew my mind when I was at work one day and I literally was like, I cannot wait to get home to eat this salad. And I never thought I would get to a point where I was just so excited to eat a salad. But when you go to a restaurant, you'll have your lettuce, your tomatoes, your cucumbers, and your croutons. They literally give you 4 toppings. But what you'll find when you're at home, you're putting garbanzo beans and onions and bell peppers. You're putting so many, you're making it hearty.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another misconception that people think you're going to be hungry all the time when you're eating a plant-based diet, and it's the complete opposite, because you can eat as much of fruits and vegetables as you want, and your body's going to tell you when you're satiated, when you're full.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas on a standard American diet, we eat these high calorie, low nutrient dense foods, and your body is not being fed the minerals and the vitamins that it needs, and so it tells you, oh, I'm still hungry. And so you continue to feed it these foods that aren't providing you any type of nutritional benefit. Um, and so then you find yourself overeating. But
Mm-hmm.
on a plant based diet, I found that I'm eating just enough. And then, when you're hungry, you can always eat again, but it doesn't work against you. There's no cons to it. Of course, too much of anything is bad, but your body will tell you when you've had enough. And that's one of the benefits of eating a plant-based diet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the other misconception is that you're gonna start looking sickly. Um, and what I tell people is that we're so used to seeing people overweight that
Mm-hmm.
when we see someone who's actually at their natural body weight, it looks weird to us. It doesn't look natural, but it's just because we're so accustomed to seeing people unhealthy or out of shape or overweight that we're now seeing healthy as unhealthy. So it's just a perspective shift.
Mhm.
Um, the more we start to see people um, eating healthier at their natural body weights, then we'll understand like, okay, so I'm actually not supposed to be this size. I'm supposed to be this size kind of thing. Or I'm not supposed to be having these pains in my body. We've normalized having these pains when that's not normal at all. Um,
Right.
and then I think lastly, it was the not getting enough protein or, lacking minerals and vitamins. So, protein is made up of, from my understanding, there are 9 different amino acids, and all fruits and all fruits and vegetables have these 9 amino acids in some shape or form. They may not have all 9 in one vegetable, but you can eat this one vegetable that has 3 to 6 of them, and then another one that has, the other three, and you'll get your protein intake for that day.
Mhm.
And we think eating meat uh, is where we can only get our protein, but cows eat grass. And so it's kind of like, why not just cut out the middleman and just go straight to eating the plant, instead of the animal that's eating it and getting a second source of
Mhm.
uh, of it. So yeah,
Yes, and also that's gonna cause inflammation and constipation and all the things that comes with it. So yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on like how much fats and then do you eat any healthy fats like avocados, nuts and seeds and things?
Hmm. Yes, definitely. So, nuts and seeds, I put sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds currently on my salads, avocado as well. Um, I've heard coconut oil is good if you're going to cook with it or if you want to use it in a dressing.
Mhm.
So those are like my top three fats right now that I'm consuming: the nuts, the seeds, and the avocados. Hmm.
Okay. Did you do any juice? Because a lot of people do juice fasting to, start their cleansing in the beginning. Did you do any of that, or along the way, have you did any of those types of things?
Yeah, I've done juice fasting. I did a 21-day juice fast,
Mhm.
juice and smoothie. So it was more of a liquid fast.
Mhm.
So for the first, I believe, 14 days, I did smoothies, and then the last 7 days, yeah, 7 days I did just straight juices.
Mhm.
So that was back in 2018 when I did the 21 day.
Mhm.
And it's just amazing
Mhm.
how much energy that you have. You would think, like, oh my God, I'm going to be starving. Now, of course, you'll get a few hunger pains, but I realized after I took a couple drinks of water or I had a juice, I was good.
Mhm.
So really, I think it has more to do with like your dehydration. Like a lot of the times we're dehydrated when we think we're hungry.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I just had so much energy on the juice fast. My mind was so clear. I was able to focus better. It was really it's a really great experience that I recommend that everyone experience and try.
Mhm.
Now the length, it doesn't have to be 21 days. You can always do like one day a week juice cleanses, and work your way up. Just kind of, just listen to your body, of course, and it'll
Okay.
always tell you like when enough is enough for you. 21 days just spoke to me, so that's what I decided to do. After that, in 2022, I did another 21 day. Um, and yeah, I love doing them. I love them because it's like a way for me to reset
Mhm.
before I, start eating raw plant-based again. If I feel like I've consumed too much cooked food, because what you'll find that once you start to clean and detox um, your body has always talked to you. It always has told you when you eat something that it doesn't agree with. It always talks to you, but we're not always in tune to listen to it, but the cleaner you eat, the more in tune you become. And I have found that when I'm consuming a lot of cooked foods, I'm more sluggish. My mind is not always as clear.
Mhm.
And so I like to incorporate a juice fast just to kind of reset, cleanse, detox, and then get back to eating more raw fruits and vegetables. And yeah, so it's really awesome. I really love it, and you get all the minerals and the nutrients. They go straight into your blood system because they're in liquid form.
Mhm.
They give you that immediate, boost of energy. So, highly recommend if anybody is curious about fasting or juicing. Um, I do recommend that you do it. And you can fast from anything. If sugar is your issue, you can fast from sugar, you can fast from social media. I do that all the time.
Mhm.
So, it's just about, making sure that you're providing your body with the most pure and clean products as possible.
Yes, I agree. As you was speaking, I heard balancing the body as well. Um, as you say, you had a more clearer mind when you were doing the juices. You feel the same way as you eat more high raw as well.
I do. Yep.
Yes.
Because a lot of the fruits and vegetables are high in water content anyways.
Hmm.
So, you're like, as I said, like a lot of it's dehydration. I think when we're hydrating our bodies, because I did a watermelon fast and I know that's very popular right now. I've seen a lot of people doing videos on like doing 7 days of just eating watermelon or doing watermelon juices. And watermelon is amazing.
Hmm.
Um, and someone brought up a good point is that they ate watermelon for an x amount of days and they feel amazing, and that's because watermelon is what, like 92-93% water.
Hmm.
A certain type of water, I think it's not H2O, it's like H3 something else,
Uh-huh.
from what I hear. But yeah, it's like the water that's in these fruits, that's in these vegetables, like it's really hydrating to the body. It's not
Hmm.
causing it's getting rid of inflammation.
Hmm.
Um, it's really balancing, as you said, balancing the body, bringing it back to homeostasis,
Hmm.
creating an environment that disease cannot thrive in.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's really, really powerful.
Yes, yes. Wow, this is amazing. And we have Cedric Blake Jr. also say you got some good stuff going on
Hey, Cedric.
here. Wanted to shout him out. And then we have Easy Butterfly in the house, which is my little one, I call
Hi.
her.
Thanks for tuning in, Cedric.
Yes, yes. So what makes you excited about the way you eat? And what is your favorite foods to eat?
So, what makes me excited about this eating a high raw vegan plant based diet
Hmm.
is just, I think it's just the curiosity about how much healing I actually can do. Because I know that we're continuously learning, we're continuously growing. We'll never know everything. We'll never know how much power we truly have within us. And the exciting part is that the deeper that I dive in, into my spiritual life as well as into just exploring more about plants and herbs and the healing properties of herbs, that it's exciting. It just blows my mind, like God really created all of this for us for the purpose of healing, of sustaining for a long time. And so I'm really, what keeps me excited is just to learn new information, to be able to share with people. And we're here to have fun, we're here to live happily and well, and I believe that eating a plant-based diet can allow us to do that.
Yeah.
My favorite things to eat, honestly, like I said, I'm a minimalist. I'm very simple. So I eat salads a lot.
Mhm.
If I find something that tastes good and I know it's good for me, I can literally eat that every day. And my mom, my mom can attest to that. She saw that I literally ate. I used to make collard wraps, I take a collard leaf, marinate some kale, put Kalamata olives, tomatoes, onions, and sun-dried tomatoes. And I would either make a burrito style wrap out of that, or I would eat it kind of like a taco.
Mhm.
And I was eating that every day for months. And but I was satisfied, and I was happy, and it was good for me. So I was like, there's no harm in this. Um, but yeah, so I do have a sweet tooth. So whenever I'm craving something sweet, I'll take some dates and almond butter and a little bit of maple syrup. It
Mhm.
tastes just like a Snickers. And
Mhm.
I put some walnuts on there. You would be thinking you were eating a Snickers. It's amazing. Um, so those are my go-tos right now. I I've tried some raw lasagnas. I've tried raw pizzas. I've
Mhm.
actually made a high raw pizza. The crust was made out of spelt, um, and then I put some. I make a cheese sauce out of bell peppers, pine nuts, macadamia nuts, chipotle seasoning, salt, and I think that's it. And put some pesto sauce on there with your vegetables. It's amazing. It's amazing. So I don't want anyone to feel like you're going to be missing out at all, because you really can get as creative as you want. As creative as you are in the kitchen with your other meals, this is going to make you step out the box. It's going to make
Yeah.
you think, how can I take these fruits and vegetables, and make this lasagna, or make this, you know, burger that I love eating. I don't want to give that up, and you don't have to.
Mhm.
Um, you can make it as simple or as creative as you want to. So yeah.
Yes, and your mom is on here. She said your
Hi, mom.
so yes, thank you, mom, for here as well. So you guys, I mean, this is amazing. I think you kind of already told us like what a typical day is in the way how you eat now. Um, I don't know if you changed it up because you did mention some meals that you like. Um, but a typical day, like how would you start out your breakfast, or do you do intermittent fasting, or how does that look?
Yeah, so I definitely do intermittent fasting. I don't have my first. Now this is during the week, so I'll speak to just during the week, because sometimes the weekends will change. If I'm going out, hanging out with people, but during the week, first solid meal doesn't start until 12. So from the time that I rise in the morning until 12, I just have fruit juices, water, tea, just liquids. And then between the hours of 12 and 8 is when I have my heaviest meals, which will consist of either fruit or fruit or a salad, pretty much. And then I try not to eat after 8. Um, but if it's a weekend, then I might start eating fruit before 12, and then if we go out to a restaurant, like I said, most of the time I'm ordering a salad, doctoring it up, because like I said, most of the time they just give you tomatoes, cucumbers, and croutons. But if I see they have avocado or cilantro on another meal, I'm gonna say, hey, can I get that added to my salad too? Because I want it to be hearty. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm hungry.
Mhm.
So that's one thing I will recommend to individuals, is that don't be afraid to ask, your attendant or your waiter, like, can I take from this meal and add it to my salad, or to your meal, because you have to create it the way you want it, that way that you're satisfied.
Mhm.
um, Another thing is that when you are transitioning, pre-planning is very important.
Yes.
If you're going out to dinner that evening with friends or family or your significant other, look at the menu, see what they already have. Because if you try and go not knowing what they have, and then you find out they don't even have anything there that you can eat, you're gonna be upset.
Yeah.
So I always look at a menu like a day before, or a couple hours before I go, because if they don't have anything, then I might say, hey, can we maybe check out this other restaurant? That way we're both getting our needs met,
Hmm.
um, and also bringing snacks with you, having healthy snacks in the car, in your purse, in your backpack, wherever you're traveling to, just
Hmm.
having those ready to go snacks, because that way you're not going to be tempted to, when you drive by a Burger King or somewhere fast food, you're hungry and you're like, dang, I don't have anything else. More than likely you're going to probably slip up and eat something that you're trying to avoid.
Hmm.
So it's best to try and have those things readily available if possible.
Yes,
Yep.
that's great tips. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, of
Have
course.
you have you ever
Thank you.
so, have your mom gave you a heart? I don't know.
Mm,
You can see the comments, right?
I have the screen on full size, so I
Oh, okay.
cannot. And actually, I don't. Oh, I do. I do. Do. Yeah, yeah, I see it now. Okay, perfect. Hi, everybody.
You have some supporters in the house, and yes. Have you ever taken with you a dressing that you made at home, like when you go out to restaurants or over to family members' houses, so you can have that, as well?
Definitely. So I've made a Thousand Island dressing
Hmm.
with, I believe it was cashews, a little bit of water, mustard seed powder, relish, and something else. I put it in my own little bottle. I refrigerated it, and then whenever I would go out to a restaurant, I'd bring it with me in a little bag. Sometimes I would even put toppings, certain vegetables that I knew that I really liked on my salads. I
Hmm.
bring those with me as well, and doctor up my salads, make them, like I said, more hearty, to my liking. And yeah, so it's really just about making sure that you're accommodated, whether that's bringing your own food or making sure that wherever you're going, they are going to have something that you can eat. So that's very vital to the longevity
Hmm.
of staying, keeping to this lifestyle if it's something that you desire to be on.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. I don't know if you know Marcel. I hope
I
I
do. What's up, Marcel?
know.
Glad you were able to join.
Yes. 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 So, why do you love to eat the way you do, and how do you feel?
So I feel amazing. Um, that's one of the biggest components to why I choose to eat a plant-based diet, is because the amount of energy that I have, um, the quality of sleep that I get,
Mhm.
um, and really the benefits are the reason that I stay on it, because I've seen the changes, I've seen the growth from where I was to where I am now, and I mean, there's no denying it, or there's nothing bad about it. The fact that I can eat what I want and not have a guilty conscience saying, oh man, I know I shouldn't be eating this, or okay, I'm going to eat this, but I'm going to work out tomorrow. Like, I don't have to live that way. I can eat a watermelon, or or a piece of fruit, and know that this is actually aiding my
Mhm. Yeah.
health.
Yes.
So it just completely gets rid of that guilty conscience, that I used to experience. I don't know if everyone has experienced that, but I know I personally have experienced that. So that's one of the benefits too.
Wow, that is great. The sleep, yes, I can attest. Oh my God, I used to just have 4 hours of sleep. Um, yeah, it's amazing.
Hmm.
And to see the transformation.
And so you mentioned you went to school for herbalism.
Hmm.
Okay. So how was that experience?
Um, how was it? I got a question. How was the experience with? Well, The only reason why I went is for people who say, "Well, what school you went to?" We are herbalists. You know what I'm saying? It's just we don't remember. You know, we have our ancestors. I had an aunt who would write down, you know, herbs and stuff like that, and some of them they didn't use. You know, and I always have had a question in the back of my mind: what did they do back then? You know, how did they use this and that? Because we didn't always have pills, you know, or go to a doctor to take, you know, to get medicines and stuff like that. Um, but the experience was, it was the only thing I can say was more learning about the body. And I had to do the nutrition part first. That was my first class. Um, I learned a lot about that, the nutrition part, the protein is in everything. Um, it was good. I would say it was good, and like I said, I only did that just so if somebody asked me. But I don't really. I used to preach about it, about using herbs, and I know you asked me one question. I'm going on.
No, 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 you're fine.
But I always believe, herbs work, but you have to change what you're doing, and that's what a lot of time people don't want to change. But yes, my experience was okay, but my personal is when you personal experience things, or when you help people and you see the work done through what you get downloaded to you, not necessarily a book. You know what I'm saying? And when you research herbs or look at it for yourself, and that's another thing. A lot of herbalists, we have to learn to, when you see a herb out in the wild, to recognize it, and that I think that's more important than ordering herbs and you don't know if it's the true herb itself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was a great experience, but it wasn't. I didn't really like say I got a lot from it.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a question here. How do you feel about lentils?
I like lentils. I do. I eat them. I want to say, from what I have researched, the smaller the bean, the better. I don't really know the full science behind that, but I enjoy lentils, and I know that they are a great source of protein. So I actually had lentils yesterday. So yeah, I'm a definitely an advocate for lentils.
Yes, and also you can sprout lentils. I have some
Yes.
black lentils, and they are so yummy. And they sweet. Is weird. I'm like, why are these lentils sweet? But it's
Yes.
punch with the protein. So yeah, that's good.
That's what I'm working towards, sprouting. That's my next venture. Is and I know it doesn't take much. Of course it does take a couple days
Hmm.
for the tail to sprout before you are able to consume it. But it's another way to get the most out of the vitamins and minerals
Hmm.
without cooking them out of the food.
Yes. Sometimes I have sprouts that I'm sprouting now. They're done. I'm just getting the chlorophyll on it.
Hmm.
Sometimes what was I going to say? But anyway, yeah, sometimes I eat just a sprout salad, just different sprouts and put my onions in there and, whatever sauce or avocado. And it's amazing eating with Nor. It's really good. And
Yes.
it's amazing how filling just eating sprouts is. So,
You'd be amazed. Like
yeah.
you said, it's a matter of experiencing it for yourself.
Hmm.
Someone can tell you all day, "Oh, this is good for you. You should be doing this," but it's not until you actually experience it where you're like, "Wow!" Like it's that personal experience that you can say, "Okay, that was there's truth to it."
Yeah, yeah. That's the same thing about being a herbalist. Is when you experience things for yourself, or like even a nutritionist, when you see people heal, they healing their bodies or their bodies healing themselves. by the information that you're sharing with them. So I appreciate and applaud you for seeing the need and going for something that we need, in the world today. More nutritionists, because a lot of times people go to the doctor, and I'm not knocking that, but it starts with what we put in our bodies. That's the main thing what caused it. I like to get to the root of the issue, not just put a band-aid on it. So you're going to the root cause, and thank you for doing the work.
Thank you. My
You guys,
pleasure.
please do not, I apologize. Don't forget to go and support her. She has a GoFundMe so that she can start her nutrition course. And you guys, come on, we need to be supportive. And thank you guys for your support in helping her. Um, so, what is the legacy that you would like to leave behind? Even if, I don't know if you have one, because some people they don't have one. But do you have a legacy that you would like to leave behind?
Oh, that's a great question. Truly, I want my spirit, to live on through other people. The spirit of wanting to be the best version of yourself, because I believe the way to change the world is by changing yourself first.
Hmm.
And so I think when we do that, it just naturally creates a ripple effect where you're trying to be the best version of yourself. You're around someone who's going to see this. This is going to spark a light within them to want to be the best version of themselves. And like I said, it just ripples out. It's a ripple effect.
Hmm.
Um, and that's how true change happens. It's by looking, like as Michael Jackson said, looking at the man in the mirror,
Yeah.
checking yourself, kind of see, am I coming correct? Am I being the person that I would like um, in my life?
Hmm.
And so that's just the legacy that I want to leave, is even if it's just one person that I encounter whose life I positively changed, I did my job. That was what I was supposed to do. I came here to make that impact on this person's life so that they can do what they were meant to do, which is, positively affect someone else's. So,
Mm.
um, yeah, that's what I want to leave behind, is to be remembered for wanting to be the best version of myself and empower others to be
Yes.
that for themselves.
Yes, that's beautiful.
Thank
Being
you.
the best version of self, that is amazing. That's something that I strive for myself, to be the
Yeah,
best version of me, and like we should be growing every day. Every day.
every day.
Like I shouldn't be the person I was last year. I should see growth.
Yes. And
Yes.
I and and I want to say I definitely live by, like, it's not about perfection,
Right.
because I used to struggle with perfectionism, and
Mhm.
I've learned that it's not about perfection, it's about progress. And
Yes.
even when we stray off the path or we might fall off the wagon,
Mhm.
it's in the moments when you decide, am I going to get back up?
Mhm.
That's progress.
Yes.
And that's what counts. It's not the fact that you fell off, it's the fact that you decide to get back up,
Yes.
and keep moving forward,
Yeah.
because you never know. You falling off could be someone's testimony, or it's your testimony to help someone that has also fallen off. So
Hmm.
I believe that those moments that we stray are purposeful. Everything is purposeful. There's nothing in our lives that is by coincidence, or just, oh, it's something that just happened. Like, no, it's useful. Um, so yeah, it's just about how we decide to get back up and just start again and keep building on the
Yes.
information that we've learned. We never lose. It's about the attainment of information and sharing that information so that we can grow as a collective and
Mhm.
continuously elevate.
Yes, I agree. And one thing I've learned is that life brings us lessons.
Yes.
And even though we might fall, like you say, or we may get off the path or whatever, it's like, what was it that I supposed to learn so that I can grow? Because you know what I'm saying? Because it's to go back and to keep doing the same thing over and over, get off the path. Why did I get off the path? Is it because
Hmm.
as something I need to heal, now so that I don't continue the cycle of the thing getting off the path of what or the thing that I need, where I need to be,
Exactly. Yeah.
changing.
There's a message there.
Yeah.
There's a lesson every person that we encounter, and
Hmm.
every experience that we have. Like, what's the message? What's the lesson here that can help me move forward? But
Yes.
yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yes. Wow, this is amazing. This has been so beautiful, and I appreciate you sharing your time with us.
Thank you for having me.
Do you have any remarks? I don't. I'm gonna stop saying last remarks. But do you have any remarks that you would like to share?
Um, Last remarks. I guess I would like to say, find what works for you.
Hmm.
Find what works for you. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace, because, like I said, it's not about being perfect. It's
Hmm.
about growth, and just being the best version of yourself. So, um, and don't be afraid that if no one in your family or no one in your friend group is trying to eat a plant-based diet, you be that person. You be the leader that takes the lead and being the example, for others, because you never know how that could be a blessing in their life, because they may not be telling you, hey, I want to make these changes, I just don't know how or where to go. And if you start, then you're that person that they can go to, and you all can do it together.
Hmm.
So if you have the desire in your heart, um, follow that desire, because God doesn't put desires in our hearts without providing the resources and the people and the means
Hmm.
of our desires coming into fruition. So that's what I like to say. Follow your heart, and make decisions that feel good. Yeah.
That is beautiful. I love it. I love it. Thank
Yeah.
you. Got some thumbs up over
Thank
here.
you. Thank you.
Thank you again for coming on our channel. You are amazing. And like I said, thank you again for your journey to go and be this nutritionist that we need, and dropping all the wisdom that you already have so much, and the impact that you are making behind the scenes that you don't know about. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Um, Anytime,
Okay.
I'm available.
All right. Yes. Love it. Love it. Thank you. And I'm gonna hold you. I'm gonna get you back up.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Anytime,
You're
let me know.
you're young, but you're full of wisdom. You're helping my little one here. She's over here. Yeah. She say you cool. What you say?
Oh, thank you.
Oh, stay
You
warm.
say
Oh,
they
okay.
weren't. Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Fall is coming, so I'm getting prepared for that now. Hmm.
Yeah, we're in Florida, so we don't have the season, too much season. We only have two,
Oh
no.
yeah, y'all got the good weather. I'm in Chicago, so I got to get prepared for that snow.
Oh man. Woo, we was in snow briefly, and I'm
Uh-huh.
like, I don't see how people, how you wash your hair is freezing, or how you do it. Somebody's saying, what's that? Oh, hand wash.
Wash hands.
Washing. Oh, okay. I don't know who that is. Oh, that's somebody you know.
Yeah. What is that, Marcel? Wash hands. What's that mean?
I know what that is. That's one of the YouTube emojis.
Oh, that's a YouTube.
Oh, okay. Is that clapping of the hands?
No, it's like you're washing the hands. It's one of the YouTube emojis that they made during 2020.
I
Okay.
don't know nothing about that. I'm
I'm learning with you. I'm learning with you.
learning. Okay, we're going to end. If you want to stay there for a minute, thank you guys for watching A Thousand Roses. Love yourself first, because why?
Yes.
You're worth it. Peace. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.